Hello everyone and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. We have had a brilliant weekend of Women's FA Cup action, and this afternoon we have the final game of the weekend coming our way. Chelsea hosting Everton to round off what has been a brilliant day of action, an action that is ongoing now. But I think a big game for both sides. Everton getting through last Wednesday against Tottenham, Chelsea comfortably through after beating Charlton. So two sides that will be eyeing up the quarter-finals. We know that Chelsea have an ambition to go out and win all four trophies, but Everton, they're playing some really nice football at the moment, and they are looking to cause what would probably be the first upset of the day. It has not been a round 5, has not been the round for a cup set, which is a real shame, but we have seen some brilliant games. There's 4 games going on right now. Rugby Borough and Liverpool has finished, and I have to start by saying fair play to Rugby Borough. A brilliant performance. They were superb and very unlucky to not come away with anything. To hold WSL opposition at 0-0 for 86 minutes is an absolutely incredible achievement. So credit to Rugby Borough. Unfortunately, they are out, and Liverpool will progress through to the quarter-finals, but credit to the non-league side taking on such a big side in the WSL and giving them a really good game. So we've already confirmed Liverpool in the quarterfinals. Similarly with Aston Villa yesterday and Manchester United both winning. So 3 quarterfinalists confirmed, and Chelsea or Everton are looking to put their name into the last 8. Thank you all for everyone who's tuning in right now. If you are tuning in, make sure to get your thoughts into the live chat, what you're thinking pre-match going into this game, and of course have your say in the poll and predict who is going to win this football match. Let's have a look at the lineups for the two sides then. At Kingsmeadow today, Chelsea the host, and as follows: Hannah Hampton stays between the sticks, has obviously now secured that goalkeeper number 1 shirt after Sakira Musovic announced that she's pregnant. So congratulations to her, and Hampton is now the nailed on number 1. It is a Chelsea back 4 unchanged of Niamh Charles, Millie Bright, Natalie Bjorn and Ashley Lawrence. Still with injuries to Baltimore and Bronze, Chelsea will remain the same at the back. Slight change in the pivot. Kira Walsh starts her second successive game in Chelsea blue, and Erin Cuthbert comes in alongside her. The attacking 3 then, it looks like it will be Carnareed on the right hand side, Lauren James on the left hand side, and Katarina Macario in the 10, and then leading the line is Myra Ramirez. So 3 changes for Chelsea from the team that beat West Ham on Wednesday night. Lauren James is back into the side, Erin Cuthbert's back into the side, and Ramirez obviously. But yeah, so good for Chelsea. It's a very strong lineup, as we know. Even slightly rotated, it's still, I say rotated, it's not really rotation, it's the same, bringing in higher quality players for higher quality players. So it's a lovely scenario. It's a really good team and a strong 11 that looks to send themselves through into the quarterfinals and knock out an Everton side who have played some really nice football of late. For the away side then, Courtney Brosnan is in goal. It is a back 4 of Holmgard, Martina Fernandez. Maren Mielda makes her Everton debut against her former team Chelsea, and Hope at right back. But big for Maren Mielda, debut for Everton, and of course fairy tale that she has to play it against Chelsea. Across the 4 then, it looks to be Payne on the left hand side, Watson on the right hand side, with a midfield 2 of Hayashi and Ladd. Hayashi enjoying a really bizarre scoring season, has been finding the back of the net pretty consistently for Everton this season. Another player that has come in and started hitting the back of the net very regularly is Kelly Gargo, and she starts up front alongside Katja Snoys, 2 players that have really found their shooting boots for Everton and have been key to what has been an upturn in form for the Toffees. But yeah, I'll carry on there with Kelly Gargo. She's come into this Everton side and has looked absolutely superb. Playing up there with Katja Snoys. Not only has she come in and scored goals herself, but she's also helped Snoys to get a few more goals for her tally. So credit to Kelly Gargo. She's adapted to English football very nicely, and it was expected. She's a very physical striker, and she's used to the biggest difference that the WSL has up against other leagues is that physicality, and Gargo can come in and challenge mostly anyone, and she will be a handful for the Chelsea defence today. They've got to be careful, Chelsea, that they don't let Gargo muscle them off too easily, because Gargo, she's stronger in the air than most defenders. She's really good at the ball at her feet. She can kind of do it all, and and that's what makes her such a dangerous player. So a really, really good signing for Everton. She has hit the ground running, already on 3 or 4 goals. So a really good start in her opening couple games. And as I said, the fact that she's getting assists as well, she's setting up Snoyce, and it's really helping Everton, because unsurprisingly, if you score goals in football, you win more games, and it's been really crucial. I think you also have to give credit to the Man United duo who came in, Watson and Ladd, because they've both looked really, really sharp for Everton as well. And I think it's, especially with Hayley Ladd, it's experience coming in. It's an experienced, calm head to come in and just settle the games down. Everton have had a couple games pre-January where it was very chaotic and they didn't really have any control. Players like Hayley Ladd have brought them control in games. And in games like today, Ladd's going to be a really key player, because if she can get on the ball, if she can be calm in possession, then Everton will get opportunities to get the ball on the floor and play football. And against teams like Chelsea, if you can have the ball, if you can go at them, then Everton could cause quite a few issues for the Blues today. And I think this cup tie is not as easy as people view it as. I know Chelsea are unbeaten, but you look at the West Ham game in the midweek for Chelsea. That's the greatest example of what looks to be a favourable tie for Chelsea, because of the magnitude, because it's a cup game. It was made slightly more difficult by West Ham, and credit to the Hammers, because they put up a decent fight against Chelsea on Wednesday. Everton will look to do the same, but they will look to do more. As I said, we're not seeing an upset so far across this weekend. So maybe is this the one? Will Everton challenge Chelsea? If we're being realistic, this Chelsea side haven't lost a single football match this season. Bon Pastor has got this side playing some ridiculous football, and even at their worst, they are still very, very difficult to beat. And that was proven against Aston Villa. So Chelsea, they'll come into this, they'll be confident that they will manage to get themselves into the last 8 of the FA Cup. Phil East, welcome to the stream. Says afternoon all, afternoon Phil. But yeah, I talked about those other fixtures. I think there's been really, really tasty ties. As I start at the top of the show, credit to Rugby Borough, but congratulations to Liverpool. Crystal Palace are currently beating Newcastle, but that game was goalless for a good 75-80 minutes. So again, really good performance from Newcastle to take the game to Crystal Palace. Arsenal, I believe, are still leading by a 1-0 against the London City Lionesses. Again, that's been a really, really good game. London City did have an opportunity about half an hour in to equalise. Great chance for Jakobsen, but she put it wide. But again, credit to London City Lionesses. They're a side who are right at the sharp end of the Championship right now, and they're taking the game to what is a relatively strong Arsenal 11. The other game, Man City are in cruise control against Leicester. Caroline scoring her first goal in Sky Blue, and that'll be a big boost for her. I don't think she had a brilliant game against Arsenal in the midweek, but today against Leicester on the score sheet, first goal for the club. And the other game is that Sunderland are leading Portsmouth by 1-0. So an all-championship affair there. Sunderland expected to come out on top. Portsmouth currently rooted to the bottom of the Women's Championship table. So a tough season for them. And it looks like Sunderland will progress to the FA Cup quarter-finals. What an occasion that will be if they can hold on there. But yes, we have 5 or so minutes till kick-off. And I think that it's important, as I say that, by the way, Crystal Palace have made it 2. So they look to have confirmed their place in the last 8. And that's good for Palace. They needed that. It was clearly it's been a tough game against Newcastle, but they've found 2 goals. They've kept a clean sheet thus far, and they look to all but be confirmed as our 4th quarter-finalist. Phil says still 1-0 half-time. Jakobsen missed another good chance too. Well, I'll tell you what, and I think that obviously people will look at that, and while that it doesn't reflect greatly on Arsenal in the first half, saying it is a relatively strong side, from a neutral perspective, watching the London City Lionesses take the game to Arsenal and be competitive is absolutely crucial, because if we're thinking about next season, if it is London City and Michelle Kang's masterclass of investment that if they do get promoted, then is there a chance that London City Lionesses come up next year and could ruffle a few feathers? Because that's what they're proving in that first half, is that they've got the quality, and I'm sure Michelle Kang will happily invest more money. But they could be a force to be reckoned with next season if they manage to get themselves promoted. Alex on the swing says, hi, still trying to figure out Niswan's position. Looks like Lefman and McCabe left back. I also found this issue because they were changing a little bit, but I think you are right. It does look like Niswan is playing on the left hand side of a front three, but because McCabe is so attacking, it's nice because what it means for Arsenal is that McCabe can bomb on and she can run down the line, and Niswanger can just sit a little bit deeper. So it just, if any, and Niswanger is still decent coming forward herself. So if anything, it gives Arsenal a little bit more security. I think it's the reason they've done it against the London City Lionesses is purely because they want to. I'm guessing they want to play both of them. They want to give Catley a rest, give Niswanger her first start. McCabe's also been out for a couple of games, so I understand why they're doing out. But the teams are now coming out at Kingsmeadow, so let's get into some predictions. If you are tuning in right now, make sure to have a say in the polling chat and get your prediction down in the live comments. Who do you think is going to win the game? What do you think the scoreline is going to be? As for myself, I think it will be. I think again, Everton will make it difficult for Chelsea, and they've proven in the last couple of weeks that they are a very, very good. That on their day they can be a difficult side to beat. Everton, they're in a really, really good run of form. They've only lost one in their last 5, and that was weirdly to West Ham. They went and beat Man City and have pulled off some brilliant results against other sides, but went and lost to one of the teams below them, which will be disappointing. But yeah, as for my prediction, I'm going to go for a Chelsea win, but I think it'll be a difficult one. I'll go 2-0, similar to the West Ham game. I think Everton will put up a good fight, but at the end of the day, the quality that Chelsea possess with the players they can bring off the bench, I just think that even if Everton are still in the game with 50, 60 minutes to go, I just think that Chelsea will manage to win the game. So I'll go 2-0 to Chelsea. I'll go a Lauren James goal and I'll go a first goal for Kira Walsh in Chelsea blue. So 2-0 Chelsea win. But as I said, everyone else, make sure to get your predictions. Get your predictions in the live chat. So, and I will make sure to read them out and have a look. Phil says she's playing centre mid next to Cooney Cross. Oh, that's interesting. If that is the case, obviously I've turned that game off now. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see how they're going to use her. I think overall today, though, no matter who's playing, they should be okay. But yes, we are very near kickoff here. Get some predictions in. I think we're in for a good game. Everton will make this difficult for Chelsea. This won't be as easy as Chelsea rock up, they score a few goals and they win the game. Yeah, it was like that at Goodison Park for the Blues, but Everton look like a completely different side now. They've reinforced defensively. They've brought in better attackers. The midfield's got a little bit more grit and a bit more strength in there and more leadership with the likes of Ladd coming in. So Everton have improved massively since that game at Goodison Park between these two sides. So I do think that the away team will make this challenging for the league leaders. But yeah, Chelsea, they'll want to make up for last year in the FA Cup, getting knocked out in the semi-finals. They look to go on this year and win it once again. But it all starts with games like this. They have to go out today and they have to make sure that they come away with a win, get themselves into the quarterfinals, and then see what the draw is going to be there. Either way, if you looking at the teams who have got through so far, it's going to be a really competitive quarterfinal stage, really competitive. So yeah, let's see how this game is going to go off. It'll be Chelsea to get us underway. Alex says Sonia should consider to play in Pomme and Bjornsson Millie can rest. I do think that obviously centre halves is a place that Chelsea do need to start rotating, but Pomme has also struggled with a little bit with injuries herself. It will be Myra Ramirez to get this game started. Chelsea will look to start fast, try and get an early goal. West Ham managed to survive about half an hour. Everton with a tough job today. If they can hold on for 90 minutes, they'll send us to extra time. After that, it will go to penalties. But Chelsea to kick the game off. The referee is happy for this game to start, and Myra Ramirez will knock it back. And we are underway at Kingsmeadow. Chelsea looking to place themselves into the quarterfinals, but Everton will have something to say about that, I'm sure. 90 minutes to decide who will be into that last 8. Lauren James loses the ball early doors, and here is Payne and Everton looking to hit Chelsea early doors. Payne down the line to Hope. Hope comes back on herself, looks to drill it in, cut out Bright before it could reach Kelly Gargo. Poor pass from Walsh though, out for a Chelsea throw. Sorry, Everton throw. Phil says, when did Kumagai go to London City? I missed that sign. She was unbelievably good a few years ago. She is still very good. And for the champ, I know it's mental. Some of the players they've got down there, they've got Jakobsen, they've got Aslani, they've got Kumagai. It's an absurd 11. Taya Goldie's another one. The investment going in there from Michelle Kang is paying off. But yeah, that happened a couple years ago, I believe. I think. Might have been last season. But overall, a brilliant signing. She's incredible playing in the Championship. And Alex says she joined 23 January. Fair enough. But yeah, you're right, Phil. It's a brilliant signing for London City, and she's played very well this season. Long throw for Everton then. Gargo looks to win it, flicks it onto Payne. Payne stuck in the corner, looks to get the ball in. It's not a bad one, but it's onto the roof of the net. Hayashi was lurking, and I spoke about in the build-up how Hayashi has enjoyed a bizarre run of scoring goals. She always seems to find herself in the right place at the right time. Scored against Man, and it's always the same kind of finish. It's the low-driven effort from the edge of the area. I remember the goal against, obviously, Man City. Her most recent strike against Leicester, absolutely superb. The short corner and just drills it into the bottom far corner. Absolutely superb. A brilliant effort, and a player who's had a really good season at Everton so far. Here is Holmgard, dispossessed by Cuthbert. Cuthbert to Ramirez. Ramirez loses it to Ladd. Ladd into Gargo. Gargo holds it up well. Battling away with Bjorn. The ball does run away though. And here is Erin Cuthbert being tackled by Hayashi and is eventually brought down. So a Chelsea free kick. But Everton doing exactly what Aston Villa did a couple weeks ago. Last weekend, sorry. Of just being a little bit frustrating. Being physical against Chelsea. Being aggressive. And not making it comfortable for the Blues to settle into a rhythm. Here is Erin Cuthbert. Cuthbert turning left and right. Can't find a way to go. Eventually plays a 1-2 of Lauren James. Will now play it across to Natalie Bjorn. Bjorn on to Ashley Lawrence. Ashley Lawrence, who I think has really struggled in the last 2 games against Villa and West Ham, especially the Villa game. Kirsty Hansen was causing her all sorts of issues. Needs a better game today. Here's Millie Bright. Bright overhits it, doesn't reach Charles, and that is out for an Everton throw. A few misplaced passes early doors for Chelsea, and it's giving Everton an opportunity to get themselves on the ball, have some possession, and they will look to use that to try and get themselves into the game. Long throw again, looking for Gargo. Gargo versus Bright, and Gargo does win that fight. Really good physicality from Kelly. Gargo looks to play through Katja Snoyce, but that will run through to Hannah Hampton. But already there, Kelly Gargo showing what problems she can cause up against Millie Bright. Just manages to win the header and then muscle her off. And if that pass was a little bit better, then Everton could have caused some problems there. Here is Walsh. Walsh to Bjorn. Lawrence down the line into Ramirez. Ramirez holds it up so well, fighting away against both Fernandez and Hayashi. Manages to win a Chelsea throw. Second half kicking off both between Manchester City and Leicester, and Arsenal against the London City Lionesses. City 2-0 up, look to have that game under control. Arsenal only a 0-0. And I think Renee Sagels will hope that her side can score a few and put the game to bed. Misplaced pass from Cuthbert, and here comes Kelly Gargo again. Goes across to Hayashi. Hayashi's got Holmgard on the overlap, decides to go against it. Is now forced to turn back because she's lost the ball to Erin Cuthbert, and Carnereed will pounce on it and run down the right. Chelsea going forward now. Carnereed looks to slot it into Ramirez. Really good defending from Martina Fernandez. Back with Chelsea though. Walsh. Into Kat Macario. Back to Kira Walsh. Goes across to Cuthbert. Cuthbert down the line to Ashley Lawrence. Really good run. Lawrence puts it in the box. Charged down though by Hayley Ladd and out for a Chelsea corner. Good football from the Blues. Coming down the right hand side. Stretching the Everton back line and managing to find themselves a yard or two of space to use. And a set piece now, which Chelsea will look to threaten from. The likes of Millie Bright and Maya Ramirez lurking at the far post. It will be Kat Macario to put the ball in. Short option of Lauren James if she wants it. Macario will send it into the box. It's not a bad one. Charles has a swing at it and misses it. Runs all the way through to Bjorn. Bjorn goes back to the halfway line where Ashley Lawrence is found. Lawrence back to Lauren James. James puts it in there. Header from Niamh Charles and well claimed by Courtney Brosnan. But Chelsea with the first shot of the match. It's a great cross from Lauren James from deep. Beautifully weighted pass. Headed goalwards by Niamh Charles. But a nice catch from the Everton keeper. Everton trying to get on the ball in their own penalty area. They've played out of that nicely. Ball back with Brosnan. Under pressure from Ramirez. Everton playing very dangerously here. Again, Hope charged down. Lauren James looks to put the ball in. Decides against it. Good from Watson to see her out. But apparently that's a free kick. Watson doesn't agree. But the referee has given it. Phil says Valtion for nice when we're in the Arsenal game. Fair enough. Not a bad... So that was that half-time change. I think realising that Arsenal probably needed a little bit more control and an actual central midfielder. Here is Kira Walsh. Walsh to Macario. Macario finding herself pretty deep here. Goes back to Chelsea's new defensive midfielder, who uses Millie Bright. Millie Bright looks to switch the play to Lawrence. Lawrence will just about keep it in. Forced backwards by Gargo and finds Walsh. Walsh to Macario. Macario uses Bjorn. Carnareid. Swedes combining on the right hand side. Play is switched over to Millie Bright. Chelsea just enjoying their time on the ball here. Every single outfielder camped in the Everton half. Everton sitting very deep. Chelsea just trying to find a way through. Here is Niamh Charles. Goes to Kat Macario. Macario with a great ball into the penalty area. Looking for Carnareid. Brave goalkeeping from Brosnan. Punches it away. Only as far as Ash Lawrence. Here is Ramirez. Ramirez to Bjorn. Bjorn to Bright. Bright has a really good ball into the box. Looking for Ramirez. But headed away by Holmgard. Will it go out of play? Yes, it will. Really good defending that from Everton. And this is the thing with Everton, is that their box defending, it's the reason they beat Man City, is their box defending is really, really good. You know, that they let teams have the ball up until that penalty area, and as soon as that ball enters their 18-yard box, they're really, really good at dealing with it. An issue here then for Courtney Brosnan. I think she was caught when she came out to punch it. It collided with Fernandez and Carnareid, and it looks like Brosnan might have been the one that felt the brunt of it. Yeah, it feels like Renee had a little experiment but didn't come off. Yeah, it's the right game to try something different, but at the end of the day, they're only 1-0 up, and they don't want to risk getting knocked out this early in the FA Cup to Championship opposition. Yeah, well, Brosnan looks to get back to her feet, and looks like she'll be right to continue. But yeah, really good goalkeeping that was. The ball was put into the box by Niamh Charles, looking for Carnareid, but well punched clear by Brosnan. Came out, was assertive, got two hands on it, and managed to punch it out. Everton then with the goal kick. Just waiting for Brosnan to actually get back on the football pitch. Yeah. will be Fernandez then to get us underway. Goes to Holmgard. Holmgard looks to go long to Gargo. Finds Bjorn instead though, and Chelsea have the ball back. And that's the thing for Everton. If they can find Kelly Gargo that long ball, it works. But if it's misplaced like that one from Holmgard, then Everton are going to struggle to get into this game and get Gargo involved. Here comes Lauren James down the left-hand side. James looks to find Cuthbert, cut out well though by Everton. Here is Millie Bright. Walsh finds a lovely ball through the channels to Lauren James. James up against Hope, cuts inside, shot from James, good save by Brosnan. And eventually cleared by the Toffees. But really good stuff from Chelsea. It was Walsh who finds Lauren James's run. James stands up Hope, cuts in on her right-hand side, blasts a shot at the near post. But well saved and parried by Courtney Brosnan. Chelsea back on the ball. Charles. Macario dispossessed by Snoyce, and Everton have the ball back. Snoyce looks to find Gargo. Gargo flicks it on to Payne. Everton coming forwards on the counter here. Payne will look for Gargo in the middle. Puts the ball in. Charged down by Millie Bright. Back with Payne. Has Loud as an option. Looks to go to Snoyce, who would have been offside anyway. But it goes out for a goal kick. But Everton there showing that when they do get the ball, they can come forwards quickly and look to cause some issues for Chelsea. Feels as usual, Arsenal look miles better with Vanti on the pitch. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. She offers just so much control and comfortability for Arsenal. She's one of those where she's not an incredible player, but in terms of she facilitates other people. With her being on the pitch, other players can be more creative. Other players can play better. Alex says Everton's defence is much better since Martina joined from Barca. Definitely so. They've reinforced very well. As you say, Fernandez came in. Obviously, I know they've reinforced across the pitch, but Fernandez coming in at centre half. Hayley Ladd coming in as that defensive midfielder has definitely just shored things up for the Toffees. And it meant they could loan out Izzy Hobson, because as much as she was playing well in this first team, she is still 17. Hayashi looks to find the ball down the line to Gargo, cut out by Lawrence, and Chelsea have possession once again. Cuthbert across to Charles. Charles goes one further wide to Lauren James, but that again is overhit. It'll run out of play, and Everton will have a throw. Another one there for Chelsea, where it's just an overhit pass and it lets them down. But yeah, I haven't actually seen. And the other signing, obviously, that in today is Maren Mielda. So that's another defensive reinforcement that they've managed to bring in. Here comes Tony Payne, manages to skip past Millie Bright. Payne down the right-hand side. Holds it up, looks to cut it back. Had to cut it back sooner, and eventually she gets dispossessed by Charles. But Katja Snoyce was screaming for it on the edge of the penalty area. Hayashi and Gargo had bursted into the 6-yard box. Snoyce had space on the edge of the area, and Payne just didn't release it. Brilliant breakaway from the Everton winger. She does so well to burst past Millie Bright into the space, and then she's got to cut that back sooner. Just holds onto it too long, decides to cut in herself, and then gets dispossessed. Big opportunity there wasted for Everton. And they'll be frustrated. That was another really good breakaway. But when they actually get into that penalty area, they're not causing Chelsea enough issues. Chelsea with 3 shots so far, Everton with none. Over 75% possession for the Blues as well. Chelsea in control, but not a goal to show for it just yet. And while it does remain 0-0, Everton are still in this game. Bjorn goes wider to Carnareed. Carnareed back to Natalie Bjorn. Bjorn finds Macario in the space. Here's Cuthbert. Back to Katerina Macario. Macario goes to Charles. Charles has James on her left. James puts it in. Headed away by Hope. Charles will fight for it, but ends up knocking it out for an Everton goal kick. And once again there, another demonstration of how Everton, they get stretched out wide. Chelsea put a cross in, but as soon as that ball's put in, it is charged down, it was pounced upon, and Chelsea aren't allowed to get a shot away. It's another really good representation of Everton's defending. Long ball, looking for Gargo. Lawrence will deal with it and goes back to Hannah Hampton. Hampton across to Bright. Bright under pressure here. Chelsea feeling it, and Hampton is forced to kick it up in the air. Watson challenges with Charles. Watson wins it. Here is Emma Watson, has a shot and is deflected out for a corner. Everton starting to come forward now and looking to put the pressure onto Chelsea. Hampton was under pressure from Gargo, just had to kick it up in the air. Challenge between Charles and Watson. Watson won it and managed to get a shot away. Wasn't a bad effort. Blocked behind by Natalie Bjorn, and Everton now have themselves a corner. And again, I spoke about that aerial presence. Mara Mielda's in there. Fernandez, Kelly, Gargo is the one who I'm watching, just lurking on the penalty spot. Taller than anyone else in that penalty area. Will be Holmgard then to put the ball in for Everton. It's not a bad ball. Looks to catch hands in. It's gone in all the way from the corner. What a goal from Holmgard. And it's another goal this season that's gone directly in from the corner. And Everton, having to endure pressure for 15 minutes in this game, have managed to find the breakthrough in incredible circumstances. In-swinging corner, puts it onto Hampton. Hampton doesn't deal with it and it finds itself into the far corner. And Chelsea, for all the chances and pressure they've created, fall behind to Everton's first shot. Well, I say shot, it wasn't a shot, it was a corner. Brilliant goal from Everton. I'm not sure how much Holmgard meant it, but Everton will not care. And after 17 minutes here, the away side lead at Kingsmeadow. I mean, what? Wow, what a corner from Holmgard. As I said, I don't know, did she mean it? Was it accidental? Either way, it's an in-swinging corner. Hannah Hampton's just got to deal with it. She doesn't. And it ends up, no one touches it on the way through and it just finds itself into the far corner. Phil saying on Payne that if she can sort her end product out, it should be a nightmare for defenders. Yeah, totally right. Her pace is incredible, and you know, with the ball at her feet, she's really good. But she just never doesn't release it. If she releases that pass or releases a shot, then as you say, she could cause some problems and put up some decent numbers every season. That's just what's lacking from her game at the minute. CFC Riley went to the stream. Says Chelsea looks slow, lethargic, already out of ideas. What's happened to this team? Nothing's happened. I think it's a really difficult one. They've had it. Hang on, Lauren James put the ball in here, looking for Kana Reid, and it's a really good save from Brosnan to tip it over the bar. And again, another superb ball from Lauren James. Kana Reid getting on the end of it, heads it into the ground, and it's really well dealt with from Brittany Brosnan. But yeah, for Chelsea, it has been a bit of a slow start, just a few sloppy passes, but it's similar to the Villa game. Everton they're being frustrating, they're being very difficult to break down, and to be fair to Chelsea, they've forced Brosnan into a couple of saves now. Lauren James is having a really, really good game. And it just feels eventually that one of these crosses is going to go in. It's Macario corner. Charles flicks it goalwards, but that is wide and out for a goal kick. But yeah, Chelsea, they are knocking on the door. They are creating chances. You know, Lauren James has put in a few beautiful crosses and had a shot herself saved by Brosnan. Alex, she says, what a word from Holmgard. Jack, welcome to the strings. It's not a great start. Yeah, not a good start for Chelsea at all. But as I said, I think the important thing for Chelsea is to not panic. It's been 90 minutes. They have been on top. They have had chances. But Everton, they're playing well. Brosnan, again, is having a really, really good game so far. And a goal from a corner is difficult. As Alex says, Hampton should do better. And yeah, you're right. Yeah, from a goal kicker's point of view, you should never concede from a corner because you should just deal with it. And yeah, she sticks one hand up and just doesn't get anywhere near it, and it would be a disappointing one for the Chelsea goalkeeper. Feels it's such a strange part of the women's game. I remember Zellum did it twice in a week a few years ago. Yeah, I feel like this season across the men's and the women's games, we've seen so many goals from corners. It's a really weird. I don't really know what's happened recently. I remember Man United in the men's game conceded 2 in 1 week. As you say, Zellum scored it's I don't know. It's a new feature of football. It seems to be. Although Chang on Chelsea have won the ball back heart of the pitch here, that is well won back by Hayashi, and it will run through to Brosnan in the Everton net. 20 minutes gone though, and Everton lead Chelsea. Martin wants to says Merseyside derby for the final at Wembley. I mean, I'd be surprised if Everton got through this game, let alone getting all the way to Wembley. Although maybe I should be quiet, because here come the Toffees again. Holmgard looks to fire it into Gargo's just got too much on it, and it ends up hitting her legs and running away from her. But yeah, Liverpool surviving a scare. Took them 86 minutes to score against Rugby Borough. A superb performance from the non-league side, but Liverpool do go through to the quarterfinals. Here is Niamh Charles for Chelsea. Ramirez, heavy touch, but manages to recover it. Goes back to Walsh. Walsh plays a 1-2 with Macario. Fires it into Charles. Good vision from Walsh. Walsh again. Cuthbert. Macario could look to shoot. Plays it to Walsh again. Now spreads the play wide to Lawrence. Ash Lawrence up against Hayashi. Looks to go to the byline. We'll put it across the box. It's not a bad ball. Brosnan tips it. Charles looks to cross it back in again and scuffs it out for a goal kick. Niamh Charles had a poor game. There's been a couple of those where she's just scuffed it or just kicked it up in the air or just not managed to get it anywhere near the target. Alex says Chelsea need Micah and Nuskin on the field. I do think that it's interesting to go with Cuthbert and Walsh. Two very defensive midfielders, which is a weird thing to say, but Nuskin offers you more going forward. And I think if anything, it's too defensive from Chelsea, because you've got Cuthbert playing as that more attacking midfielder, which I love Erin Cuthbert, but I don't really think that that's exactly what you want from her. Payne to Hope, blocked by Lauren James. Walsh doesn't deal with it, and Watson pounces on it. Still got the ball as Watson manages to go back and spread the play to Fernandez, who goes long, cut out by Walsh. Cuthbert finds Kat Macario. Macario on the ball. Goes back to Walsh. Walsh spreads the play. It's a great ball out to Lauren James on the left-hand side. Here is James. Puts the ball in for Chelsea. It's a good ball, but straight in the arms of Courtney Brosnan. Just in case anyone's missed it, Khadija Shaw has returned for Man City and has scored against Leicester to make that 3-0. Honorius went to the screen, says Chelsea midfield should hold the ball in the middle. They play too much to the back. Well, that's what I mean. I think there's Walsh. To be fair, Walsh is playing a few nice passes forward and playing it through the lines. But I do agree that I think it's a very defensive midfield from Chelsea today, and neither of them. I think Walsh is doing a very good job at it in terms of finding those balls through the lines, but I just think it's missing some attacking intent in there. And as Riley says, this Macario in the 10 is not working. I'm inclined to agree. I think obviously the main thing is to give Micah a rest. James on the left hand side has looked really sharp today. She's been cutting in, putting crosses in, and has looked really good. Carnereed not really done too much in his first 23 minutes or so. But I agree, Macario in the 10. I just don't think she's a 10. Either play her out wide or put her up front if you are going to play her. But I agree that I think I would rather play Hermano there. I think I'd even potentially rather put Nuskin further forward than play Macario there. 24 minutes played at Kingsmeadow. Everton still leading and have got themselves a throw in the Chelsea half. Holmgard throws it to Gargo. Lawrence wins it back. Bjorn smashes it up the pitch. Fernandez wrestling with Ramirez and does give away a free kick. But that's not a bad foul at all in there. That's never going to be a yellow card for Fernandez. It's inside the Chelsea half, but by grabbing Ramirez there, it stops her turning and getting on the end of that long ball, and it means that rather than having a good opportunity, it means Chelsea have got to restart again from their half, and Everton can get all their players back in. Really good tactical foul that from Fernandez. That's heads up defending. which I think is something that Everton had really missed. But with Mielda and Fernandes in there today, they've looked really, really good. Ramirez battling away with Ladd. Ladd deals with it. Holmgard clears it up pitch. Bright steps in. Here's Macario. Macario with Ladd all over her. Manages to spin round. Goes wider to Lauren James. Here is Lauren James. Cuts inside. Gets a shot away. And it's another good save from Brosnan. And she does eventually hold on to it. But Lauren James is causing issues down that left-hand side. Receives the ball from Macario. Cuts inside. It's too easy from Hope. Lauren James latches it at the near post. And another really good save from Courtney Brosnan. That's the second or third time that's happened where Lauren James has picked the ball up on the left-hand side, cut in on her right foot, and just leathered it at the near post, and Brosnan has made a really, really good stop. Oh, but Fernandes has given it away. Ladd's fallen over now. Ramirez chance to equalise, but saved by Brosnan. Hooked, it's an absolute mess for Everton. They still haven't cleared it. Mielda holds on for it too long. Ramirez wins it back in the penalty area. Holmgard versus Carla Reid. Holmgard wins it back. My oh my, what a scare for Everton. Fernandes plays it across the box. Ladd makes a meal of it. And then as she's trying to recover, she slips over. Ramirez just takes too long to decide what to do. And Brosnan just charges her down and kind of smothers it. Mielda then tried to dribble it out of the penalty area for some reason. But Everton hold on. Chelsea back on the ball. James. You do feel that Chelsea are doing... they're playing well enough to score a goal here. Walsh. Macario. Back to Walsh. FPL basis. Welcome to the stream. Is it a smash and grab goal? End-to-end game. Everton took their chance. It is. It's very much a smash and grab goal. It was a directly from a corner. Holmgard. But apart from that, it's been all one-way traffic. Chelsea have dominated the play. Everton, when they come forward, that they break with pace, but they haven't really caused too many problems so far, apart from that corner goal. Here's Carnareid into Macario. Bjorn to Lawrence. Lawrence will go past the tackle, but the cross is blocked by Holmgard. Alex is so far, unless it's just 1-0 down, is very good. Yeah. And as I said earlier, I think that it's proving to a lot of people that if they are to get promoted this season, currently sat second in the Women's Championship, but have got games in hand. But if they are to get promoted, they are proving today that they could put up a really good fight in the WSL. And I know it's a cup game, but for people who don't know, it is quite a strong Arsenal team. From the off, it was a pretty strong 11. So credit to Leinster and Leicester, they're still in the game, and there's every chance they nick a goal in the remaining time. Lauren James takes the ball from the short corner. Hayashi clears it out for a Chelsea throw. Macario. James. Back to Bjorn. Rice, I think it's terrible performances on Sonia's team selection. I remember saying on this channel once, I don't think she has the answers. I think she does. I think it's one of those with Bonpastor that in these type of games at the very end of the day, whoever she puts out from this Chelsea squad should be good enough to go out and beat Everton. The side today should very much be winning this game. With Sonia, I think it's more that against and any top manager really against teams like this, it should be the players that find the answers. It's in those bigger games where it's so close on quality that the manager makes a difference. And so take Arsenal, for example. Slagers has done a good job, yes. But if the games they've won, they've done very where they've got more quality. She's named an 11 and the players have gone out. They've made the difference. They've won the game. If you look at the games they haven't won, the draw to Man United, I know they beat Man City, but they also lost to Man City and they lost to Chelsea. Where the quality is close, it's the managers who make the difference. So it's one of those where, from Bonpastor's point of view, the players make the difference in games like this. And they should go, with the overall quality they have, they should go out and they should win the game. In those bigger games, it's up to Bonpastor to find the answers. Same as it is for any other top manager. And that's the thing, you look at Gareth Taylor. City have lost like games like Everton. And yes, they're bad at breaking down low blocks, but why is that? It's because they haven't had Hempman Shaw. And without those players who make the real difference, the rest of the squad has struggled to make the difference. Yeah, it's frustrating from a Chelsea point of view. It's another team. You take the Villa game. Well, Erin Cuthbert has found herself in a lovely bit of space here. Cuts it back to Carnegie, who just runs into Holmgard. Lawrence will run onto it. Goes wider to Macario. Macario puts it in there. Headed away by Hope. Recycled by Lauren James on the left-hand side. James to put the ball in once again. It's a good cross, but claimed again by Brosnan. Carnegie was caught there in the penalty area when she ran into Snoyce, and she is still feeling it. Just running it off by the looks of things. Everton roll it out short. Fernandez will look to step into the midfield. It's a brilliant run this from the Everton centre half. She does lose it, but that is because she was pulled down by Maya Ramirez, and a free kick to Everton. Really good there from Martina Fernandez. And that's the difference there, is that with Fernandez being in this Everton back line, she didn't have any options. So what did she do? She picked up the ball and just ran into the space, and she got Everton 10 yards up the pitch and won a free kick. Other centre-halves who don't quite have the quality that Fernandez does would have potentially tried to force it to someone who wasn't free, and then that's when the mistake comes for teams like Everton. But from Fernandez there, really experienced and heads-up play to realise her teammates aren't an option, so I'm just going to run with the ball and take it into space myself. Ball back with Brosnan. Goes to Ladd. Ladd just about manages to flick it around the corner to Martina Fernandez. Goes wide to Holmgard, who goes down the line to Katja Snoyce. Snoyce forced to run back towards her own goal, and will go back to Fernandez. Brosnan, under pressure from Ramirez, kicks it long, looks to find Watson in the middle, but a heavy touch from the Everton midfielder, and it runs out for a Chelsea throw. Lawrence, back to Bjorn. 13 minutes to go in the first half. Chelsea will hope to be at least level going into the interval. Walsh to Bjorn. Bjorn. Carnegie. Bjorn finds a really good ball into Ramirez, but Martina Fernandez will see that out. The team's rotated except for the court. 3 attempts a goal. I don't think that's a bad team selection considering the size of the squad and quality available. Well, yeah, there's 3 changes from the side that played against Villa against West Ham in the League Cup. But as you say, at the end of the day, whoever in this Chelsea squad, whoever goes out there, should be good enough to go out and win the game. Chelsea win the ball back half the pitch, but that is a foul from Lauren James on Hiyashi, and Everton with another free kick. And again, this is good for Everton. They can just slow the game down, take their time, and really just start to kill the game. And that would be the plan. Everton, if they could grab a second goal, would be superb. But the position they're in, they're fortunate to be in it. They've played well, don't get me wrong. The goal, obviously, it's hard to say. Did Holmgard mean to score direct from the corner? I highly doubt it, but you never know. Only one person knows whether she meant that or not, and that is Holmgard. Either way, Everton, they're defended well. As I said, their box defending is really good. So as soon as Chelsea get that cross in or get that ball into their penalty area, Everton are on them immediately. They clear the ball and they deal with it. Charles to Cuthbert. Walsh looks to find Ramirez through the lines, but cut out by Ladd. Does fall back, though, to a Chelsea shirt. And here is Kat Macario. Macario across to Bjorn. Bjorn to Lawrence. Lawrence does really well. She was pulled down by Watson. Will it be a penalty? Yes, it will. Chelsea will have a spot kick. I think it's an interesting one. I'm not fully convinced. Don't get me wrong, there's definitely a pullback, but whether it was in the area, I'll be surprised. But either way, the referee has pointed to the spot and Chelsea will have a penalty. Lawrence got the wrong side of Watson. Watson pulled her down. I'm not sure if it's in the box. I need to have another look. To me, I think initially I'd have probably given a free kick. but it was right on the line. It was very close. But it will be Kat Macario from 12 yards to level this game up for Chelsea. A frustrating first 35 minutes, but an opportunity to make all that pressure and all those chances count from the spot. Kat Macario then up against Courtney Brosnan. Brosnan's had a good game so far. Can she deny Macario? Or will Macario make it 1-1? Kat Macario, it's a good penalty and it's in. Finding the bottom corner. Brosnan went the right way, but Chelsea are level. A good penalty from Kat Macario. And the Blues have done half the job already. Good response. They've played very, very well. And they've earned themselves an opportunity. And they've levelled the game up again. 10 minutes to half time. Chelsea 1, Everton 1. Be a frustrating one for Everton. As I said, they're really good defending in their box. Watson there just had to trust her teammates to deal with it. But instead, she felt she needed to bring Lawrence down. Again, I couldn't quite tell whether it was in the box or not. It was a close one. But either way, Chelsea will award the penalty. And Macario buries from the spot. And now, it'll be very interesting to see how Everton respond. Alex says, to be honest, the contact was outside the box. Just watched it again. Oh, that's another frustrating one, if that is the case. We saw Catley on for Gino, which is very similar. Was a pull that was outside the penalty area that was given as a penalty. We've now seen a pull from Watson on Lawrence outside the area, or what looks to be outside the area. It's given a penalty. It's you can't be frustrated anyone. As I said, I mean, I've only seen it once, and I have no idea. I knew it was tight, and that's the problem. Here comes Lawrence. Chelsea looking to complete the comeback already. Goes to Ramirez. Ramirez cuts it across the box, cleared away very well by Hope. And out for a Chelsea corner. But yeah, it's a really difficult one for the officials to get right. You know, they see it once, it's so close. Especially when it's those ones where the contact might be out, you know, the contact's outside, the player falls inside, it's right on the line. It's a really difficult one to see. But especially with the lineswoman on this near side, you'd like to think that she would have been, it would have been her really to make that decision. Being interesting, but yeah, I want to see it back. But if you are right, Alex, and that is a unfortunate one for Everton. Chelsea corner though, Lauren James on the ball, delivers it, flicked on by the player at the near post. It's not really dealt with by Everton. It's bouncing around the penalty area. Ramirez flicks it goalwards. Bright heads it back in there, and Brosnan will come out to claim it. And Everton will just take a moment. Machiavelli, welcome to the stream. Willing Chelsea on. Chelsea back in the game now, and they will look to put themselves ahead for the first time in this match. But an important goal that. I think equalising before half time was crucial for Chelsea. If it had gone into half time at 1-0 Everton, I think it'd have been a very interesting second half. Because Everton would have had something to fight for. And Chelsea would have had to work for it. Charles round the corner to Cuthbert. Great tackle from Ladd. Everton look to come the other way. Hayashi releases Payne down the right hand side. Tony Payne will look to get the ball in, blocked by Millie Bright and out for an Everton corner. And well, the last Everton corner went directly in from the actual set piece. So let's see what can come of this corner. It will. Holmgard is the one going over to it again. I mean, if she was to score directly from another corner, I'd be very surprised, but you never know. Hampton's got to be aware. Will Holmgard try to score from the corner, or will it actually? Again, you don't know. Home guard over it. Can Everton restore their goal advantage before the break? Whipped in. There's a lot on it. Looking for the far post. Hope looks to head it back goalwards. Charles was the one to head it away, and it will be another Everton corner. This time from the other side. Fired to the back post, and it was Hope who headed it into the back of Neve Charles. And this time, Watson will take it from the right-hand side. Arsenal now 2-0 up, by the way, against the London City Lionesses. An important second goal there for them just to close that game out. Ball in from Watson. Kept alive by Holmgard, but there's a foul in there on a Chelsea player. And it will be a free kick to the Blues in their own 6-yard box. Phil says, seemed like setting us off the bench. Big goal for her and a big goal for Arsenal. You think with 10 minutes to go that they will see that result out. And Man City, Leicester have got a goal back against Man City. But with Man City leading by 3-0 up now, only 2 goals up. You think they'll be okay, but you never know. Is there a chance for a late comeback from Leicester? They've got a goal. They need 2 more to level it up. Take a lot of doing, but you never know. Good 1-2 between Carnereed and Lawrence. But Fernandez steps in and makes a really good tackle. 4 minutes to go to half-time. Everton will view it as probably just stay in the game till half-time. Make sure they go into the break at 1-1. They've defended well. They've made it difficult for Chelsea. They've got a goal themselves. They'll want to at least be level at half-time. Charles into the penalty area. Claimed well by Brosnan again. Courtney Brosnan, a very, very good goalkeeper. She's had a really good game today. The only thing that's gone in is the penalty. And even with the penalty, she went the right way. But Macario found the bottom corner and Brosnan couldn't quite get there. Payne wins to the header from the long ball. Watson dispossessed in the middle of the field. Carnery to Ramirez. Macario looks to find an option on the right-hand side. There's no one there, so she's forced to go backwards, all the way back to Millie Bright. Bright to Charles. Charles across to Lauren James. James to Cuthbert. Walsh. Walsh fires the ball across the pitch. That's a great switch of the play to Ashley Lawrence. Lawrence into Ramirez. Ramirez bullies off Holmgard, cuts it back. Really well dealt with by Maren Mielda. And Holmgard, who was still on the floor, flicks it out for a corner. Really good strength from Myra Ramirez once again, leaving defenders on the floor. And it wasn't for Mielda's interception. Someone in the penalty, someone in a Chelsea shirt was probably lurking in the penalty area. Corner now for the Blues. Kat Macario to take. Outswinger from Macario this. You've got Bright, you've got Bjorn and Ramirez all lurking at that far post. Macario with the ball in. It's not a bad ball. Header from Charles. Carnery tries to flick it goalwards, but it runs wide anyway, and I think there was a free kick in there as well. This is an Everton player on the floor. That is Katja Snoyce, I believe, who's down. But yeah, Chelsea will be frustrated. Didn't manage to work anything from that corner. Snoyce is back to her feet, and Brosnan will resume from the free kick. Courtney Brosnan then will look to send it long for Everton. Again, taking her time. Everton happy to hold on to this result until half-time. It's not been a bad half from Bryan Sorensen's team. And they want to make sure that at half-time it shows. Brosnan fires it long. That's gone over everybody and gone straight through from one goalkeeper to the other. And Hannah Hampton now has the ball. She goes short to Millie Bright. Right, with time, no one engaging with her. Payne will now chase her down. Charles. Here is Lauren James. James to Walsh. Here's Bright. Bright will switch to the play. Finds Lawrence. There'll be 3 additional minutes in this first half. Carnery tries to flick around the corner to Cuff, but doesn't quite get it right. Chelsea have won the ball back though. Here is Erin Cuthbert. Forced back by Fernandez. Here is Lawrence. Lawrence back to Cuthbert. Macario slots in Carnery. Fernandez doesn't deal with it. Ramirez looks to poke it gold. Fernandez half clears it. Mielda smashes it away for Everton. Only as far as Lauren James though. Chelsea keeping up the pressure to end the half. Bright puts a ball in and Brosnan just about claims it. And she will fall on it. 46 minutes in, Corny Brosnan's already going down on the football. It shows that Everton are very happy to run this clock down already. Clever, welcome to the stream, says Chelsea will win. Alex says, interesting Teleways lays down now as centre-back with line off the right-back. That's very interesting. And see if that works, I think. Basically, it just gives... Hang on, because Ramirez has been put through here. Ramirez looks to lob Brosnan, and she does superbly. And Chelsea do lead in this game. Went 1-0 down early doors, but have completely turned it on its head. And just before the end of the first half, Myra Ramirez with a beautiful lob to knock it over Brosnan and to fire Chelsea in front. Really poor from Brosnan. She's done a brilliant game. It's indecisive. The ball goes over the top. And she comes for it, then stop, then runs back again. Then goes for it again. Then she's just indecisive, and she's doing this, just running backwards and forwards in no man's land. And then by the time that she decides to run back, Ramirez just gets there and lobs her. Really, really poor from Brosnan. She had a brilliant, brilliant half, but has got that horribly wrong. And the frustrating thing for her will be that if she committed to that when she initially ran towards the ball, she'd have probably got there before Myra Ramirez. But because she decided just to... I don't know. I really don't know. As a goalkeeper, you just can't be indecisive. And it's completely let her down there. But a really, really good from Ramirez to get on the end of that ball through and to lob it over the Everton goalkeeper. And Everton, who put themselves in front directly from a corner, are now finding themselves losing in this match. And Chelsea doing what Chelsea do. When they're up against it, when they're 1-0 down, they dig in and they find a way to turn the game around. Lawrence back to Bjorn. Here's Hannah Hampton. Hampton to Bjorn again. Bjorn bringing it forwards. Goes to Lawrence. Lawrence fires it back to Hannah Hampton. Walsh. And that will be it for the first half. A first 45 that delivered a really, really good game. But Chelsea, the ones with the lead. A tough start for the Blues as they found themselves a goal down after Sarah Holmgard scored directly from a corner kick. But over the course of the first 45, the Blues worked hard. They dug in. They managed to find a way back into this game. First goal coming from Kat Macario from the penalty spot. Was it a penalty? We'll have to wait. I need to see another one, but initially felt that the contact was outside the box. And then that goal there towards the end of the half in additional time. Myra Ramirez lobbing Brosnan, who got caught in no man's land. Just too indecisive. And big error. Alex says, sorry, I'm just trying to find it. Both goalies poor displays. I think it's a difficult one because I think it's harsh for both goalkeepers to say they've been poor. Hampton's had nothing to do apart from that corner, which I agree she should have definitely dealt with. I need to see that penalty slowed down. I've just seen it in normal speed, and I have no idea. I can see that is a really difficult one for the officials, because in normal time, in real speed, I genuinely couldn't tell whether that was a penalty or a free kick. I would probably argue outside, but it's difficult to get right with pulls, because it's pretty easy when someone trips someone to work out, right, that's inside, that's outside the box. But when it's a player pulling, because it looks to me, yes, Watson is pulling Lawrence and she's outside the box. But the argument is that she is already in the box. So the actual contact in terms of pulling on her arm is outside the box, but Lawrence, the bit it's stopping Lawrence, her foot is already in the box. She's in the penalty area. So it's one of those where half of Lawrence is in the area, half of Lawrence is out the area. So what do you decide? It's a really difficult one. It's one of those where Chelsea will say that's a penalty. Everton will feel that they've been hard done by. It's going to divide opinion. It's a really difficult one to get right. Ref gave a penalty. Macario scored it, and that was Chelsea's first. But yeah, a half that I think Chelsea did deserve to lead. They've been the better side, but Everton will be frustrated to go a goal ahead against the likes of Chelsea. They fought well. The fact they then went and conceded right on the stroke of half-time will hurt. They would have hoped to at least hold it at 1-1 going into the break, but that goal from Mario Ramirez right at the end of the first half would have really hurt Everton. Alex says, yes, I stopped the frame, but ref can't see in real time the position. Exactly. I think it's one of those where I think it's always going to be... I think more refs would give it a penalty than those who wouldn't. But yeah, Chelsea, they'll be happy with it. Everton, it'll be very frustrating, but at the end of the day, Macario scored it, and that's what matters. And Chelsea, I think this half-time analysis would have gone very differently if it was still 1-1 or 1-0 Everton. But now the fact they're leading, I don't see Chelsea slipping up. They've got 45 minutes, if anything, just to see this game out. And a team like Chelsea in the lead against Everton, I don't see them having too many problems. But we'll see. Let's see what can Everton come up with in the second half. Can they find a goal again? If they score another wonder goal or something similar, then suddenly they're back level and it's an interesting game. The game becomes very interesting. But at this stage, Chelsea are ahead. 45 minutes to go at home, playing some nice football. It's gonna take a lot for Everton to stand a chance of getting back into this game. But I think Bompastor will expect better. It hasn't been a brilliant half from Chelsea by any means. They got better and better as the half went on. I think Lauren James has looked really, really tidy. Ramirez has done well. Overall, it's not been bad. But I do think there's definitely areas that Chelsea will want to improve. Bombastor is far from perfect from Chelsea. And I think that will be the main thing. Riley says, first half thoughts, Chelsea making their opposition look like a super team again. Players need to be more aggressive in the second half. I do agree with the aggressive thing. I think it has been a slight problem for Chelsea that what oppositions are doing. The best example was Aston Villa. We've seen Everton do it today. We saw West Ham try and do it on Wednesday. It didn't work out as well as the other two. But you are right. Teams do turn up against Chelsea and play very aggressively. They play... They're very strong in the tackle. Sometimes they do cross the line. Sometimes they are sometimes too aggressive, but that's part of the game. And they do really well they unsettle Chelsea. They stop Chelsea getting into a rhythm, and that's what puts them in the game. Villa did it, and they caused Chelsea some issues, and were very they struggled really, but Villa did that and they put up a good fight. Everton have done it today and they put up a good fight as well. So you have to give credit, I think, to these sides that are turning up against Chelsea and they're being aggressive. But you're right, I do think that Chelsea do need to be a little bit stronger sometimes. Maya Ramirez doesn't. She's always strong, ridiculously strong, just bullies everyone. But there's just other players just need a little bit more fight in them and just need to be a bit more aggressive. As Alex says, right, don't be harsh about the team performance. Micah forgot to change everything. I do think that individuals have played well. As I said, I think Lauren James had a good game. Ash Lawrence has looked much better than she did in the last couple of games. A much better game for her. Ramirez has looked tidy. Defensively, I don't think we've had any problems. Everton they scored directly from a corner. Apart from that, Chelsea have pretty much dealt with everything that has been thrown at them. So it's a difficult one. I get it's a frustrating one. I do think that a Cuthbert Walsh pivot is too defensive. You need a player like a Captain or a Nuskin that's a little bit more positive, a little bit more on the front foot, more of an attacking head. But I do think it's working. It still works. It just doesn't work as effectively as I think it could be in there for Chelsea. But yeah, it's not been bad. I just think overall, Chelsea just need to up that performance a little bit. But as I said, individually, not too bad. Just as a team, little bit sharper, little bit stronger. But you can't really complain. When from a Chelsea point of view, if you go 1-0 down in half, you turn it around and you're leading at half time, it shows that something must have gone well to turn it around, and I think that has to be fair to say that. But yeah, it's been a really, really good game, weekend. Of FA Cup action. We've seen some really good games of football. Arsenal have just won against the London City Lionesses. Man City looked to have it all wrapped up against Leicester. Sunderland find themselves 2 goals up against Portsmouth, and Portsmouth have just received a red card. So Sunderland look to have put themselves into the FA Cup quarter-finals. What a moment for Sunderland. Crystal Palace earlier on beat Newcastle. Again, that was a really, really tight game, where Newcastle held it at 0-0 for a very long time, and it took Palace a while to score their 2 goals. But so again, for Palace, really good opportunity, really good moment to get themselves into the last 8 of the FA Cup. Rugby Borough, I know I said it at the top of the show, but I'm going to say it again. Superb performance today against Liverpool. Very unlucky not come away with anything. For non-league opposition to keep it at 0-0 for 86 minutes against a WSL side. And as we said, it was a strong Liverpool side. It does show to me that I think to Rugby Borough, that they played very, very well. They were very unfortunate. They didn't get anything to be 0-0 at 86 minutes to then lose the game 2-0 will be slightly frustrating. But credit to them, they played superbly and they put up a really, really good fight against Liverpool. And also yesterday, we saw a big win for United, another comfortable one. They battered West Brom in the last round. They battered Wolves yesterday. And Aston Villa knocking out Brighton, another really good game from Natalia Arroyo's Aston Villa. Obviously, they were for her first game last week against Chelsea, and they put up a really good fight. And again, yesterday, they gave Brighton a really good game and ended up winning it. And for her to come in and immediately get that side through to the quarterfinals is a great achievement for Arroyo, and Villa will look to build on that. But as I said, with all the other games wrapped up and Chelsea, this game the only one left. If it does finish with Chelsea winning, I think we're in for some really competitive quarterfinals. And also you'll have the likes of Sunderland in there and Crystal Palace, but and that's brilliant moments for the club. But apart from that, I think Liverpool, yes, they struggled today, but they're still on their day. They're a really good side. I think Aston Villa have shown that they are a very tough team to beat, and on their day they can take on anybody. And then you've got the big four of United, City, Arsenal, and Chelsea as it stands. But there's still 45 minutes to go at Kingsmeadow. and a lot can change, but in the position they're in, with the quality they have, you'd expect Chelsea to hold on. Rice has understand that I'm harsh Alex, but I have higher standards for his team. I won't drop my standards. We'll end up like the men's team. We keep learning our own standards. I think, yeah, Chelsea are right. The thing is, at the end of the day, from Chelsea's point of view, and we saw it with Liverpool today, we saw it with Arsenal as well, is that they don't have to be at their top standard to win games like this. For Chelsea, it's a little bit different today because they are playing in WSL opposition, and because of that, they've conceded a goal, and they are only winning by one. But you look at Arsenal today. Arsenal didn't play at the top of their game; they still won. Liverpool didn't play at the top of the game; they just about won. And that's the main thing. When you are a top side, especially in competitions like the FA Cup, you don't have to be. I think that's what Alex is saying, is that you don't have to be at that very top standard to win all your games. Obviously, I agree. I'll probably have the exactly the same high standard that you have when Chelsea play when it gets deeper in the tournament. You think about the League Cup final coming up. I'll be exactly the same point of view. I'll be harsh. I'll judge the Chelsea side. But in games like this, when all you've got to do it, just get through and do the job. That's what Chelsea are doing. And at the end of the day, they can. If the draw is kind to them, they can keep doing this until they get to that final, which they'll be frustrated to not be at. And that's why I mentioned that it's a very interesting quarter final, because obviously last year we were in a scenario where we had Tottenham Leicester was one semi-final and Man United Chelsea was the other. But Chelsea will be very frustrated that they didn't get to that FA Cup final last year. They won it 2 years before. They won it the year before that and the year before that. So they'll want to get back there. Bompastor has a very keen vision to go out and win all 4 trophies for this Chelsea side this season, and looks to be no letting up at the moment. But Chelsea players returning to the pitch, then they've got 45 minutes to see this result out and confirm their place into the FA Cup quarter-finals. But I'm intrigued to see what we'll get this year. Will we get quarters and semis like last year, where we're bound to get one of the, I don't want to say weaker sides, but one of the not the top 4 basically in the WSL, a surprise team. I think that's the way you put it. Will we get a surprise team into the semi-finals? Depending on because for example, if Crystal Palace and Sunderland draw each other on Tuesday, then one of those 2 teams will be in the FA Cup semi-final, and what an opportunity that would be for either of those clubs. So that's what I mean by a surprise team. Will we see one of those 2? Will we see an Aston Villa in the semi-finals, or even I think Liverpool getting to the semi-finals, getting to the final would be a brilliant result for them, and it would be a surprise. So I still think there's a lot to play for. I definitely think that looking at the teams left in the competition, I'd be surprised if I think we'll get a match-up between the big 4. One of City, United, Arsenal and Chelsea will play each other. I just don't think the draw would be that perfect that you get one that all 4 of those teams avoid each other. I just don't think that's going to happen. So I think that we're bound to get a big clash in the quarterfinals. But Chelsea, they're not there yet. They've got 45 minutes. They need to see this result out, and then after this is the last game. This is our last round 5 fixture. So after this, we will have all 8 quarterfinalists confirmed. The draw is on Tuesday, I believe. If I am wrong, do correct me, but I believe that the draw is this coming Tuesday. So if you're wondering when, because usually it's they do it after the last game, but in the men's game they do. The women's game they do it whenever they want. But yeah, I believe it's this Tuesday. Ryan says, I think Femke Leifting should play the league game versus Everton. She needs minutes because we're one Hampton injury away from disaster. I do agree. I agree with the point that as you do obviously want your backup goalkeeper to have played some minutes and to be ready just in case your first team goalkeeper just get injured. But she will be playing with the youth side. Obviously, she'll be in training. She'll do all that. So it wouldn't be like she comes in completely cold. But I do understand what you're saying, that you don't, if she comes in and if it's a big game or something, you don't want to, like if Hampton gets injured in the League Cup final, say, you don't want Leifting to come in and her first ever senior game for Chelsea is a final. I get what you're saying there. Anyway, both sides are out for the second half. here at Kingsmeadow, it'll be Everton to get the second 45 underway. They need to find a goal at least. A goal for Everton would send this game to extra time. And then obviously spot kicks if it remained level. But they have to find a goal first. That's a very difficult scenario. Everton then, to get us underway in the second half, he actually knocks it back. And Everton smash it long and give away possession immediately. I find it very interesting now with these kickoff routines. Because obviously we've seen some teams smash it long into the corner and then run after it. And obviously, try and get on the end of it. But with Everton today, and we've seen it with a couple of other teams, so there's been a change for Everton. Watson's come off, Lawley's gone on. So so Lawley's come onto this right-hand side. So the left-hand side, for anyone wondering. So Watson's come off, Lawley's gone on. But with these kickoff routines, Everton today, they're not even kicking it and chasing after it, in terms of they're not trying to get on the end of the ball. They are just smashing it into the corner and then just boxing Chelsea in. That they're purposely kicking it off. And it's really weird to see a football team purposely boot the ball out of play from a kickoff. Free kick there given against Fernandes on Ramirez, and Chelsea will have a set piece. Deep in their own half, it has to be said. Again, another tactical foul that from Fernandes just to stop Ramirez turning inside. Hampton across to Bright. 6 votes in the poll and chat rate. 88% of people thinking Chelsea will win. 12% thinking that Everton will win. I think that 12% might have gone up when Everton led the game 1-0, but now Chelsea have turned it around. I think those 12% might want to change their idea, but perhaps there are. And if you are an Everton fan or wanting Everton to win, please get involved in the live chat. Explain why you think Everton are going to win this. Whether it's a logic behind it or whether it is sheer and utter hope. I think there is obviously a chance. I think they're a very decent side and they've done well to put up a really good fight. The problem is for Everton is that they have to, what I'd call, win the second half, which is difficult because if they are to only score a goal, they have to then keep a clean sheet in the second. For them to score a goal and stop Chelsea scoring, it's going to be difficult, but they're going to try their best. Chelsea scoring another one, saying they need 2 goals, and scoring 3 goals over 90 minutes against Chelsea has been pretty rare this season. Maya Ramirez coming down the right-hand side. Ramirez mussing her way through, has beaten 2 or 3 players. The pass to Macario, though, wasn't good enough and cut out by Holmgard. Lawrence will come up to take the throw. Lawrence to Macario. Here's Walsh. Goes back to Bright. Part's just enough on it, but Bright's pass is misplaced. And Ladd looks to send through Payne. Payne tries to flick it over Charles. Charles and Bjorn, though, deal with it between them. And Bjorn eventually knocks out for an Everton throw. Phil says, comfortable second half for Arsenal. Reid, that's a good one for the future. Yeah, I do agree. I think Katie Reid looks to be a very, very good talent. I remember watching her at the Under-19 World Cup and for England, and she looked very good. Very comfortable. I think that's the main thing. The biggest thing in young talents is obviously their potential, yes, but their ability to be so comfortable and how they suit senior football. And I think Reid's one of them where she looks so comfortable and calm playing in a senior environment at such a young age that she's definitely a player to watch out for and could be a really key defender for Arsenal in the next few years. Here's Gargo, flicks it back to Holmgard. Holmgard goes to Mielda. Mielda to Fernandes, who goes to Brosnan. Brosnan out to Hope. Hope up the line. Think she was hoping for a run there, but didn't get it. Here's Bright. Bright to Bjorn. Macario. Back to Bright. Hampton under pressure here. Fizzes it out to Charles. Lovely ball that from Hannah Hampton, and Chelsea will look to come forwards. Charles to James. James goes across to Lawrence. Lawrence into Carnereid. Carnereid looks to go to the byline to cut it back. Really good defending from Holmgard. Chelsea corner. Reading Carnereid just trying to beat Holmgard there, but good defending that from the fullback. Just stands her up and sees her out. Feels, yeah, I agree. She fits in seamlessly. It makes the Nice signing even more confusing, to be honest. Yeah, I think that Nice just offers an extra option on that left-hand side with McCabe. Obviously, Catley can play there, but we've seen her being preferred to use as a centre-half. But with Moy and Kadina have both come in recently and played well, so it's a difficult one. Corner from Chelsea, Bright just kicks it very, very wide. And Everton will have a goal kick. Yeah, I still think Reed's one for the future. Nice was pretty young herself. So, mid-20s, so she's not, she's got plenty of time. I think she just offers another option, which, from an Arsenal point of view, if they're wanting to compete in 4 competitions, you do need those kind of options. But as I said, Catley, she's been preferred to use as a centre half. Moy and Kadina they've both featured recently, but they've also, before then they haven't really played a game under Slagers, so I understand it. It just offers options, and Reed covers that kind of centre half and right back area, whereas obviously Nice will play that predominantly that left hand side, can also play the right hand side as well. Yeah, but a lot of versatility in that Arsenal backline, to be fair. Catley can play centre half and left back. McCabe can play both fullbacks reasonably well. Everton looking to come forward there. Ball put out of play by Lauren James. Hope with the throw. Goes long with it, looking for Gargo. Cut out by Charles, who heads it out of play again. Everton competitive to start this second half. Ball up the line and throw up the line again. Cut out by Bright. Ladd into Snoyce. Poor pass. And cut out. Here's Macario. Goes to Bjorn. Bjorn driving the ball forwards for Chelsea. No one really stopping her. She can now find Carnereid. Carnereid to Macario. Macario puts the ball in. No one's there though. And Hope will just see that out for an Everton goal kick. Bill also said, Ilishted back now and Fox can move across. That is very true. I forgot Ilished's obviously now returned. But yeah, good. It is really good versatility. It's a very good backline for Arsenal. But yeah, Everton started this second half well. I find it very interesting that, Mielda playing for Everton was at Chelsea. Bjorn playing for Chelsea was at Everton. An unorganised, and I know there's about 2 or 3 years between it, but an unorganised centre-half swap between these two sides. Walsh has been caught in possession by Gargo. Gargo's now driving forwards for Everton. Looks to go out to the left-hand side, trying to find Holmgard. Didn't have enough on it. Lawrence will cut it out. Tries to find James, forced to play it back. Here's Bjorn. Bjorn smashes it up the pitch, cut out by Ladd. Here's Hayashi. Hayashi into Snoyce. Snoyce to Payne. Payne looks to spin Walsh, does get away from her. Ladd, interesting balling for Holmgard. Lawrence doesn't deal with it. Holmgard tries to cut in, Walsh gets the interception only as far as Payne. Back to Holmgard. Everton starting the second half the better side here. They've come out with a point to prove. Hayashi trying to find a way through. Here's Holmgard. Back to Hayashi. Sees off the challenge of Lawrence. Here's Lawley. Lawley puts the ball across the box. It's going to fall to Hope, who lays it back to Snoyce, who smashed it out at Kingsmeadow. Really good pressure from Everton. Builds it up so well. And Katja Snoyce has managed to clear it out the ground. Hope does really well. Lays it off to Snoyce. And that has genuinely... And we've now got to find another ball. Luckily, there's a multi-ball system. But that's landed in some person's back garden. And that will be so frustrating for Everton. They've started the second half the better side, playing some really nice football. Lay it back to Katja Snois, who managed to... and Ramirez is in here, gets a shot away, and that's just wide. Chelsea turn it back from back to front very, very quickly. Just a long, brilliant through ball from Lauren James. Ramirez does well up against Mielda, just fires it wide into the side netting. Everton surviving a scare, but apart from that, the away team have been the better side in this second half. But as I was saying, a brilliant move there from Everton. They did well. A few minutes there, they built up some pressure to create a really good chance for Katja Snois, who, yes, she's looked better in recent weeks, but to clear it out the ground, come on. I mean, it just gets for a striker to get under it so much. It's incredible. Saying she's on the edge of the area as well, she's done very well to get it up and over the stand. Phil says expect Ramirez to score that yet. 100%. When there's a ball over the top to Maya Ramirez and she shrugs off the centre half, you'd expect her just to smash it past the goalkeeper. But this time, just firing wide. Lauren James picks the ball up. Ladd puts in a challenge. James holds on to it though, and Chelsea will use their advantage. Lauren James to Ash Lawrence. Lawrence to Carnereid. Carnereid cutting inside, still coming inside, goes all the way across to Charles. Charles cuts in herself, uses Lauren James. Lauren James will look to run in, fires it across the box. It's not a bad ball, no one's there in a Chelsea shirt to meet it. Headed away by Holmgard, only as far as Lawrence. Lawrence versus Hayashi. Goes to Macario, who takes aim. Headed away by Mielda, only as far as Walsh. Snois manages to kick it away. Everton still under pressure. Payne looks to bring it down. Intercepted by Charles. Charles has a go and just drags it wide. Not bad from Chelsea. Everton failing to clear. Chelsea failing to punish. Charles does well to win it off. Payne doesn't deal with it. Bouncing ball. Charles nicks it off her. Rushes the shot a little bit. And fires it just wide. Good response from Chelsea. Everton started hard and fast. Chelsea responding. And that will leave Charles' last contribution into this football match. As back from injury is Sondi Baltimore. So Charles makes way. Baltimore back on the field. Comes on in that left back role. Everton with a goal kick then to restart play. Goes to Mielda. Plays a 1-2. Waits for Ramirez to engage. Ramirez does engage. Goes to Hope. Hope to Snois. Snois to Ladd. Ladd intercepted by Cuthbert. Took a last touch off Ladd though, so it will be a Chelsea throw. Chelsea to Bright. I think Baltimore to Bright. Here's Hannah Hampton. And after a fast start for Everton, it does look like Chelsea are retaking control of this football match. Here is Ramirez. Ramirez to Walsh. Cuthbert goes back to Bright. Bright looks to switch the play, but manages to slot it perfectly between Carnereid and Lawrence and out for an Everton throw. Thrown long by Holmgard. Gargo looks to hold it up. Lawley and Lawrence challenge. Lawrence comes away with it. Goes back to Bright. And Chelsea will recycle with Hannah Hampton, who fires it up the pitch. It's a great knock. Ladd wins the header. Brought down by Hayashi. Hayashi looks to find Cuthbert. Poor touch though. Oh, and leads him to a bit of a challenge. And that will be a Chelsea free kick. Hayashi there. Good initial touch. Under pressure from Erin Cuthbert. Just takes everyone. Ends up... Cuthbert looks to pounce on it. Hayashi overstretches and just takes out the Chelsea midfielder. Here is Bright. Baltimore. James. James back to Baltimore. Chelsea coming forward. Sondi Baltimore cuts it back. Macario shot blocked. And Lawley will deal with it. Walsh wins it back though. Will run out of play. And Everton will have themselves A throw. Home guard over it. Everton goal scorer. Throws it directly back to Chelsea. Walsh is back on the ball now. Cuthbert. Carnery's intercepted. Out for a Chelsea throw on. Bjorn. Bjorn across to Baltimore. Baltimore to Walsh. Walsh with a beautiful reverser. Carnery, who brings it down, but a touch lets her down. And the reaction is frustrating. And the flag goes up on the far side anyway. The assistant on the far side with a flag up. Would have been a tight one. What a pass from Walsh nonetheless. Carnery couldn't pounce on it. Didn't really matter anyway. But she had crept into an offside position. Here's Ladd. Ladd does really well to hold on to the ball under pressure from Cuthbert. Everton will keep possession. The referee, though, will pull it back as the Toffees did end up losing the ball. Hope with the free kick. Half an hour to play. Here, Chelsea still only leading by a goal to 0. All other games now fully wrapped up and confirmed. No upsets to write home about so far. Can Everton spin this game on its head and cause our first 5th round upset? Hampton under pressure. Goes to Bjorn. Gargo still chasing. Poor pass from Bjorn. Cut out by Lawley. Holds on for it too long, but does eventually manage to find Hayashi. Back to Melissa Lawley. Going down the left-hand side. Gets past Lawrence. Ball in. Who's there to greet it? No one. Bright doesn't deal with it. Baltimore lashes it away. Falls to Ladd. Ladd will recycle it. Looks to find Lawley. Ends up finding Lawrence, and Chelsea have the ball once again. Bjorn. Lawrence boxed in this corner. Does really well to spin out of it. Chelsea will look to play. Here's Walsh. Lovely triangles from Chelsea to play out of the press. Lawrence looks to burst away. Does get caught by Lawley. And that will be a Chelsea free kick. Everton's still threatening in this game. And I don't think that Bombastor or Chelsea will be happy with the fact that it is still only a 1-goal lead. Does mean that all Everton have to do is find the back of the net once. Which I'm sure will be a slight concern for all those with Chelsea. Hampton on the ball now. Here's Bright. Bright to Baltimore. Baltimore sends it up the line looking for Lauren James. Manages to hit the winger on her shoulder though, and she doesn't really know anything about it. Chelsea win it back though. Baltimore goes to Bright. Bright to Erin Cuthbert. Cuthbert across to Baltimore. Baltimore looks to send it down the line to Ramirez. Well cut out though by Hope. And Everton look to come the other way. The ball, I think, has gone out of play. Yes, it has. Baltimore with a throw-in on the near side. Goes back to Millie Bright. Chelsea will hope to find a cushion in this match. Bright switches to play to Carnery. What a ball that is. Carnery first time back to Lawrence. Lawrence into the middle to Macario. Walsh brings a bit of control. Plays a give and go with Cat Macario. Snoyce nearly wins it back. Deflects the pass into the path of Erin Cuthbert. Here is Baltimore. Baltimore to James. James into Cuthbert. Cuthbert reverses it but to Baltimore. Sondy Baltimore down the left-hand side. Looks to get the wrong side of Hope. Gets the ball in. Heads away by Mielda. Hooked away by Snoyce. And now Tony Payne looks to come the other way for Everton. But she's still on the ball. And ends up gifting it back to Chelsea. Feels as a shame they didn't space the games out more this weekend. Yeah, I agree. I do think that especially today. Obviously, they're all kind of in the middle of each other. We saw 2 games yesterday, and another 6 today. But yeah, I do think timings wise, they probably could have separated them a little bit. All the games kicked off between 12 and 3, so here's Bjorn to Lawrence. Back to Bjorn. Macario fires it into James. James gets past one lad though with an important challenge. Wins the ball back for Everton. Hayashi looks to find Payne. Brings it down. Does she release Gargo? No. I think that ball had to go there. Hope looks to play it. Sells the dummy to Cuthbert. Forced back to Mara Mielda. Mielda to Hayashi. Hayashi holds on to it and she's been dispossessed. And here is Carnareed. Lewis gets the wrong side of Fernandez. Gets the wrong side of Mielda. Carnareed shot blocked by recovering of Martina Fernandez. Golden opportunity there for Carnareed to score. She's won the ball back though. Really bizarre one that. Hayashi just held onto it too long. Got pickpocketed by Erin Cuthbert. It fell to Carnareed, who for me just had to release it sooner. Waited too long. Tried to take on too many players and her shot ended up getting blocked. Lauren James plays it into Macario. Back to Lauren James, who puts it across the box. Will fall to Carnareed. To Lawrence. Chelsea really knocking on the door now. Cuthbert. Walsh. Baltimore driving forwards. Baltimore into Lauren James in a good space. Shot blocked by Mara Mielda. Here's Kira Walsh. Chelsea have got 6 players in Everton's penalty area. Baltimore. Cuthbert deflects it to Lauren James, who takes it on the turn. Shot blocked though by Mielda, and that will slowly run through to Brosnan. Changes coming then for Chelsea. Not quite, but it will be Shokanuskan and Micah Hermano who will enter the pitch for the Blues in the next few moments. Bright to Walsh. Baltimore sends it down the line to Myra Ramirez. Dispossessed though by Hope. And Everton will recycle. There's a lot. I've obviously does help to a thing like Rugby League's Magic Weekend when the men are on a national week. Seems like something that could get new eyes on it. I do agree. I think you make a good point that they should do more. You know, as you say, those international breaks are such a good opportunity to get more people in, because if the men's sides aren't playing, it's more likely that if you are a fan of the men's side, you might go to a game in the to a ladies' game. So I do agree they should really take the men's international mates as opportunities to really promote the game. Changes for Chelsea then. Kat Macario replaced by Micah Hermano and Shokanuskan to replace... I'm very confused. Oh no, so and Nuskan on for Carnareed. So Nuskan will come into the attacking midfield area and Carnareed... Hermano will go out onto the right hand side. So Nuskan in the 10, Hermano on the right. Carnareed and Macario are brought off. Chelsea pushing for a goal to kill this game off with over 20 minutes to play. Here is Ramirez. Can she find an options? Forced to Hermano. Hermano puts it in. Headed away by Mielda. Will fall to Baltimore. Stands up Payne and then looks to burst past her. Really good defending, but Baltimore holds on. Plays it to Lauren James, who just can't quite get there. And Ladd will look to send Payne. Payne will look to beat Cuthbert. Really good defending from Erin Cuthbert. And just runs Payne out of play. Will be a Chelsea throw. Baltimore goes back to Bright. Bright to Baltimore. Inside to Ramirez, who was pushed by Mielda, and will be another Chelsea free kick. Mielda acknowledging that that was a foul. Just pulled Ramirez back, caught her as she went to run to receive the ball. And Chelsea with another opportunity. Lauren James, the one over it. Definitely not a shooting opportunity, but a chance to get that ball into the Everton penalty area and put some pressure onto the Toffees back line. Lauren James then, over the deep free kick, puts the ball in, looks for Ramirez, will find Ramirez, and it is home eventually by Micah Hermano. Ramirez's head up, falls onto the post, runs along the goal line, and Hermano bursts away and just pokes it in. Easiest finish of her life for Micah Hermano. But Chelsea, with 20 minutes to play, putting the game to bed. Lauren James with a lovely lifted ball in. Ramirez heads it on, hits the post, bounces along the goal line, and Hermano turns it home. 3-1 to Chelsea. And with not long left now, that looks to be game, set, match. And Bonpastors Blues are 20 minutes away from the FA Cup quarterfinals. And that has prompted what looks to be a triple change for Bryan Sorensen's side. That is going to be Heather Payne, Stenovic and Van Havermet all coming on. In terms of who they're coming on for, it will be Heather Payne's come on for Maren Mielda. Hayashi is coming off for Van Havermet. And Stenovic is coming on for Tony Payne. So we'll see how that works out. Feels like it's pretty game over. I'm inclined to agree. I think with a 2-goal lead now, with 20 minutes to go, I just don't see Everton. I just don't see Everton pulling it back. But strange things happen in football, and they'll still believe. With Van Havermet then to get this underway. Holmgaard will send it forwards. Millie Bright will receive it. Poor pass from Bright, pounced on by Lawley. Lawley holds on to it well, dispossessed though by Lauren James. Ladd will get there eventually. Ladd fighting away with Lauren James and is eventually given a free kick to Everton. And Ladd will go back to Fernandez. To Hope. Hope back to Martina Fernandez. Under pressure from Ramirez. Sends it along the line. Looking for Heather Payne. But she can't quite get there. Baltimore. Back to Millie Bright. Hampton will send this long. Intercepted by Hope. Here is Ladd. Ladd goes back to Fernandez. Fernandez to Heather Payne. 1-2s between the lot of them. They're putting themselves under loads of pressure. And Lauren James does win it back. Reverses it with a back heel to Ramirez. Cuthbert with a sharp turn. And will play it safe and go back to Baltimore. Kira Walsh. Walsh. Bright. Bjorn has it now. Miscommunication. Hampton eventually just about gets there. Before Payne. Finds a lovely ball to Lauren James. Lauren James bursting through. But just past the post. Just dancing past 1, 2, 3 players in the penalty area there. And Lauren James just tries to drag it back across the goal. And can't quite find that far corner. Really good play there from Lauren James. Cuts inside. Beats 3 players. And just tries to nestle it into the bottom corner and just puts it wide. Everton look to play out. Charged down by Micah Hermano. Here is Cuthbert. Natty Bjorn. Switches it to Sondi. Baltimore cut out though by Payne. And now Everton will come the other way. Here's Lawley. Lawley back to Payne. Goes back to Van Havermet. Good pass to Holmgard. Oh, but Hope's been pounced on by Ramirez, but Holmgard will recover. Let off for Hope there. Her fullback covering her very nicely. Helped her out massively. Here's Van Havermet. Gets caught on it by Cuff, but here's Myra Ramirez. Ramirez to make it 4. Really good save from Brosnan. Ramirez tries to be sneaky and poke it in at the near post. Brosnan equal to it though, and a really good save down to her right to put it out for a Chelsea corner. Good from Ramirez. Well matched by Brosnan. And Chelsea, the side who are coming forward. Everton needing a goal. Chelsea, though, looking to make this look even more convincing. Here's Hermano, pokes it to Baltimore, lays it to Lauren James, who looks to just dink it into the far corner, but that is up and over the goal. Everton will look to play it quickly, but there are going to be some... There can be more changes. I believe there is. But for who is the big question. So we are waiting to see who those changes will... What those changes will be, sorry. They are going to be for Chelsea. It is Aurélien Jean-Francois and Aggie Beaver-Jones coming on for the Blues. And they will be replacing Kira Walsh and Myra Ramirez. Ramirez and Walsh both played well. Walsh with a second successive start for the Blues since signing for them in January. Ramirez, another good game today, another goal for the Colombian striker, and an opportunity now for Aggie Beaver-Jones to get herself on the score sheet. Rise on one of the streams says Brosnan is really very good. I do think she's top goalkeeper. You know, outside of the top 4, I think she's definitely up there. Very very handy keeper, really good shot stopper. Does have a few errors in her every now and again, but in terms of shot stopping ability, she's pretty consistent. She's not too bad with the ball at her feet, so credit to her. I agree. And as Phil says, I think she's very underrated. One of the best league keepers in the league. Yeah. When if you think outside of your big 4, the top 4 goalkeepers, I think Brosnan's in that conversation. I think Leipzig is as well. Just trying to think of any other I'd put up there. It's been hard because the likes of Liverpool have had both goalkeepers had a really tough season. Brighton also now rotating their goalkeepers, and neither have been stellar. So I definitely do think that Brosnan is a candidate for being one of the best starting goalkeepers in the league. Here is Jean-Francois. Back to Hermano. Hermano to Lawrence. Lawrence to Nusken. Nusken looks to go back to Ashley Lawrence. Hope will sweep round and recover and knock it out for a Chelsea throw. Hermano to Bjorn. Bjorn to Hampton. Bright. Baltimore. Beaver-Jones takes on the turn. Reverses it back to Lauren James. Lauren James to make it 4 to Chelsea. Slides it in, and Micah Hermano misses out on the back post. Lauren James it's half cross, half shot, just drills it across the goal. And it was Hermano sliding in at the back post for a second of the game and just misses out. Very, very close. Fine margins between making that 4-1 Chelsea. Really good football. Lovely ball through from Cuthbert into Lauren James. James does the right thing. Whether she's looking for the far corner, whether she's looking for the pass, who knows. But either way, Hermano just about missed it. And again, Everton being caught on the ball high up the pitch. Eventually, though, they do manage to work it well. Here is Ladd. Ladd hasn't released it yet. Needs to release it at some point. Eventually, does go backwards. Here is Hope. here to Payne. Gargo now reverses it well. Holmgard looks to put the ball in. That is out for a Chelsea throw. For Lawrence. Lawrence to Jean-Francois. Back to Bjorn. Here's Erin Cuthbert now. Switches the play beautifully to Sondy Baltimore. Baltimore charging down the left-hand side. Here's Lauren James. Cuts inside again, causing all sorts of issues. Beaver Jones to Baltimore. Chelsea coming forward, looking for a fourth. Baltimore bursts away. Goes down. Not going to be a penalty. And runs out for a Everton goal kick. Good defending that from Heather Payne. Just stands Baltimore up. Doesn't let her inside. But definitely have to say, this has been Lauren James's best Chelsea performance since her return from injury. She's looked really sharp today, and getting 90 minutes in the tank will be huge for her. But yeah, much sharper from LJ today. She put the free kick in that created for the third goal. She's got the assist for the second goal. And as all round, just played very, very well. It's been a really much better performance from LJ. Been a bit quiet since she returned from injury, but this is better from her. Change then for Everton. Olesen is coming on, I believe, to replace Hayley Ladd. I might be wrong. Sorry, to phrase Katie Snoyce. So Olesen goes into the midfield. Rising to still Mr. Low OJ socks though. I hadn't actually noticed. Does she now? She now pulled them up. Maybe she realised that she just she does that. She can wear proper shin pads and stop people kicking her. Here is Baltimore. Phil says, did Baltimore hear a gunshot or something there? It was a weird one, wasn't it? That ball played through from Nuskin, looking for Aggie Beaver Jones. Beaver Jones, really good tackle from Hope, and that will be a goal kick. The tackle rebounding into Aggie Beaver Jones. Lovely ball through from Shock and Nuskin. Rice says, yeah, this whole season she's been in high socks. Yeah, I think she might have learned what shin pads are, and you know, she's a very aggressive player, so I think it's probably safer as well for her to wear a proper set of shinnies and protect herself. But I do agree, for a nippy winger with her, it is very normal nowadays to see like nippy wingers like her who go the ball with their feet to have low socks with shin pads the size of a custard cream, which obviously isn't safe whatsoever, but it's kind of become more frequent than actually wearing a proper set of shin pads, proper set of socks. But each their own. Here's Bjorn up the line to Hermano. As someone who doesn't want to see LJ get injured, it's probably a good thing that she now does have proper protection on. Jean-Francois. Here is Hermano. Hermano, one back in there by Holmgard, out for a Chelsea throw. That third goal for Chelsea is definitely just seen this game just see itself out, really. Everton haven't really got anything to come forward for, but here comes Kelly Gargo. I mean, if they had to score now, might make a difference, but really strong from Bright to muscle off Gargo, and then Bright, for good measure, just smashed it out of play. Everton want a foul, they're not going to get one, and it is a Chelsea throw. More changes coming, I believe. Well, that is a player. That's Natalie Bjorn down for Chelsea. Now, she wasn't involved in that tackle, so this is slightly concerning for the Blues. Who was it earlier that mentioned that the Chelsea lack of rotation at centre-half could be a big problem because Mpome back from injury, but this looks to be Natalie Bjorn with an issue here. Hopefully, nothing too bad, but when a player, Bjorn, Chelsea aren't time wasting. Bjorn isn't the type of player to go down for nothing, really. So for her just to go down off the ball, looks to be holding her hamstring. Hopefully she'll be all right. Gonna have a look back at this penalty in the first half then. Oh, it's not a penalty. I've watched it back there. It's that she's pulling, obviously she's pulling her arm, but the actual trip happens outside. Very similar to the Firmino one against Arsenal. Catley on Firmino. It's a tight one, but it's definitely outside the area. Fortunate for Chelsea, but at the end of the day, I don't think it would have changed the result of the match incredibly. Obviously, Chelsea would have still won 2-1, but I also think if Chelsea were 1-1 going into half-time without that penalty, I still think they'd have come on in the second half to win the game. So Bjorn will come off then for Chelsea. Slightly concerning for the Blues. She's walking off normally. No problems or anything. Hopefully it's more precautionary. But a concern you feel for Chelsea. And the other problem Chelsea have is that they are out of substitutions. So Chelsea will play the remaining 5 minutes with 10 players. And Jean-Francois gone to centre-half and immediately passed it to Lawley, who has a go, but it's deflected wide by Bright. And immediately Chelsea, having to put up a makeshift defence with Bjorn coming off injured, nearly got caught out there. But yeah, so Chelsea down to 10 now. Bjorn coming off injured. Chelsea already used 5 subs. So Millie Bright will obviously remain at centre-half, and Jean-Francois has gone in to just cover where Bjorn was playing. Corner in from Everton. Doesn't go in. Will it run out of play? Did it go out? Yes, it did. Chelsea goal kick. Ryan says, do we know how far Germeroff is to returning? I wouldn't expect it to be too much longer. Obviously, she came to Chelsea with a slight injury issue, and obviously the fact that the NWSL season has been over for the last couple of months. So, couple months. So, understandably, Bompastor is waiting to introduce Germa. A, just to make sure that her injury problem is fully sorted, and B, to make sure that she's, match sharp and is ready and raring to go. But I wouldn't expect it much longer, especially if that is any kind of lengthy issue for Bjorn. Then I'd expect to see Germa very, very quickly. Be it Baltimore rushing forward, they're being kicked lumps out of by Hayley Ladd. And it will be a Chelsea free kick. I think it's just a conversation for the Everton midfielder. No cards so far. No cards at all in this football match. It's been a ref been happy to let things go and hasn't really worried about bringing out any cards. But yeah, especially with that, if that is an injury for Bjorn, I'd expect to see Germa very, very soon. But yeah, it's important that Chelsea don't rush Germa in. Ball from Hermano, going to be chased down by Aggie Jones, but Brosnan will deal with it. Goes to Heather Payne. Back to Brosnan. Brosnan to Fernandez. Fernandez across to Hope. Hope goes long, looking for Gargo, flicks it on, looking for the runner Holmgard. Will find Holmgard. Is dealt with just about between Jean-Francois and Lawrence, and Jean-Francois will just knock that out for a throw. Nothing silly. Just got to cover now. Chelsea's got to make do with the players they've got on the football pitch. And the main concern will be, hopefully, that Natalie Bjorn doesn't have any kind of issue. Fernandez into Heather Payne, who will come inside. Does go back, though, to her centre-half. Fernandez across to Hope. Hope with a lovely little dink ball into Holmgard, who does lose it. And Chelsea have it back. Here's Lawrence. Looks to find Baltimore. Really poor pass. Pounced on by Payne. Payne coming forward now. Lauren James will get back in and win it. And we'll get it back to Baltimore. Minute to be played here. Plus additional time at Kingsmeadow. Chelsea in control of this FA Cup tie. Just seeing it out. Down to 10 players. Due to an injury to Natalie Bjorn. And having used all of their subs. So a makeshift backline just seeing out the last couple minutes for the Blues, who are set to confirm themselves as our last quarter finalist. Aggie Beaver-Jones running the ball down the right-hand side. Has got Hermano in support. There's more black shirts than there is blue. Tackle, though, in the penalty area from Hope. And is it a penalty? Yes. No. Yes? The ref is weirdly just not really made a decision. I think she's given it. Everyone's confused. Oh, the rest go over to talk to her lineswoman. That's what she was waiting for. I think she's initially given it. They weren't too sure, so there will be a conversation here between. For me, it's a penalty. I think Hope trips her up, but the reason for the lengthy decision was that the referee is going to go have a chat with the assistant referee Lorraine Catchpole on the far hand side. They've made their discussion, and they are going to stick with the decision to give a penalty. So the referee there was waiting for a decision from the assistant referee. A decision didn't really come, so the referee had to make one herself, and has decided to give the penalty to Chelsea. And as we enter the 6 additional minutes here, Chelsea will have another spot kick to just really confirm. I think it was a penalty. It was just confusion between. I think that the referee hadn't made the call, was waiting to see what the assistant referee gave. The assistant referee didn't do anything, so the referee eventually gave the penalty. But it was one of those where the ball had gone out of place. Everyone was kind of just looking at the ref like, well, what's the decision? And she just didn't make one. But it will be a Chelsea penalty, and it will be Sondy Baltimore from the spot in additional time to really confirm this Chelsea victory. From 12 yards then, we eventually got a decision giving us a penalty. Baltimore versus Brosnan. Macario has already scored 1 penalty for Chelsea today. Baltimore this time will step up. Can she make it 4-1? Yes, she can, just about. Brosnan went the right way and got a hand to it, but it still finds the bottom corner. Baltimore makes it 4-1 to the Blues. And after going behind in the first half, Chelsea turn it around from 1-0 down. They're now 4-1 up and are cruising into the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. Really good performance from Chelsea. They've got better and better as the game's gone on. Seeing out the game now and seeing it off in style. Baltimore from the spot. Chelsea lead by 4-1. That has eaten into the additional time as well, so we expect to go pretty deep. But Everton, it's not been too bad. It's one of those where, 2 penalties, take them away, it's 2-1. And suddenly they're in the game. But I think that the second penalty was for me the correct decision. I think the first one wasn't a penalty, but again a very difficult one for the officials to see that with it again being right on the line. But a 4-1, I think a 4-1 Chelsea win perhaps does them a little bit. Chelsea just makes Chelsea look a little bit nicer. In terms of, I think Everton will feel hard done by. I don't think the result reflects the performance for Everton. I think it has been a closer game on paper. Not on paper, sorry. On the pitch. On paper, it looks to be pretty convincing for Chelsea. And yes, they have dominated the play, but I do think that Everton perhaps have been in this game more than a 4-1 loss shows. But overall, there will be positives to take for Bryan Sorensen's side. For Chelsea, well, it's just upkeeps what has been a flawless season so far. And it's a really weird period because what seems to be the theme of this season is teams playing each other back-to-back. Because next Sunday, in the WSL, Chelsea play Everton. Again, I don't know what's been going on this year. We've seen United City back-to-back. We've seen Arsenal City back-to-back. We've seen West Ham Liverpool play each other back to back. It's been so weird. We're going to see Man City, Chelsea 4 times in a row, and Chelsea and Everton are playing each other 2 times in a row. So really weird due to the draws in all the cup competitions. It's just made for such a bizarre season where everyone just keeps playing each other 2 times in a row. Everton coming forward. So Van Havermet, was she brought down by Bright? She doesn't have too many. Ollison's the one screaming for it. Van Havermet, no appeal whatsoever, so I don't think it was a penalty. 95 minutes played here at Kingsmeadow. Chelsea in control. Another good performance from the champions, who are looking to right their wrongs from last season in this competition. Knocked out in the semi-final stage to Manchester United. Chelsea will want to go 2 better than that, not only to reach the final, but to go on to win it. It means that games like today, they have to win. And they've done that very convincingly. And they will be one of the 8 balls in that FA Cup draw on Tuesday. Everton, though, still coming. They're still playing a fight towards the end of this game. Long ball fired towards Gargo. Hampton will sweep up and get there, though. Wild fixtures this year, says Phil. Yeah, it's been such a crazy schedule. It's no one's fault. It's just the luck of the draw has been insane. And also due to the fact that a load of the 4th round FA Cup games had to be rescheduled. Yes, the reason why we saw West Ham Liverpool back to back, because their game got postponed on that first weekend back from the winter break. Most FA Cup games were called off, and it was a real shame. But either way, we got through the 4th round eventually for a few midweeks, and the end of this game will mark the end of the 5th round. Here is Holmgard. We are into the 96th minute now. Obviously, we will have some added on due to the penalty coming in additional time. Holmgard again for Everton. Will see it out and take the throw. Here's Van Havermet. Plays it across to Martina Fernandez. Fernandez to Van Havermet. Still holding on to it. Manages to knock it out wide to Payne. Payne puts it in looking for Gargo. Gargo will get there, but heads it wide. Few opportunities for Kelly Gargo today. That probably being her best. Just heading it wide. And you feel, as we approach 97 minutes here, that will be all for this game. A resounding win for Bonpastor's Blues. And another step closer to a domestic cup final. Already in the League Cup final, top of the WSL, in the Champions League quarterfinals. And with a win here today, sends them through to the FA Cup quarterfinals. Hampton smashes it long. Header won by Holmgard. Chelsea had the throw. Still playing here. To be fair, the penalty did take quite a while, due to the fact that they took forever to make a decision, and then the referee and the linesman had a chat. Hampton to Bright. Bright to Baltimore. Baltimore does well to spin and take it. Lauren James does very well, just holding on. Oh, superb from Lauren James to hold on to the ball. Jean-Francois, 98 minutes on the clock now. Jean-Francois back to Hampton. Hampton fires up the pitch, and that will be that. Chelsea send themselves through to the FA Cup quarterfinals in very convincing fashion. 2 goals from the spot, and Ramirez and Hermano getting the others is enough to send the Blues through to the last 8 in convincing fashion. Everton put up a good fight, played very, very well, and took an early lead through Sarah Holmgard directly from a corner kick. But Chelsea responded well, they bounced back, and they managed to come out victorious in this game. Everton dumped out in the 5th round. Chelsea are through and are our final quarter finalist. But yeah, that draw coming on Tuesday. Very interesting to see who plays who in that match. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. It was a really, really good game. So those quarter finalists are now, obviously, the Chelsea, we've just watched there. Manchester City are in there. Arsenal after beating London City Lionesses. Man United are through after beating Wolves yesterday. And then Aston Villa, Sunderland, Liverpool, and who was the other team? It was Crystal Palace are our 8 quarter-finalists. Going to be some very intriguing matchups there, no matter who draws who. But yeah, what a way to end a brilliant weekend of FA Cup action. And Chelsea, well, their hunt for the quadruple continues. And they get through another stage. One step closer to another trophy. But yeah, good job from Chelsea. Everton, a decent performance. I think 4-1 does flatter the Blues a little bit. But overall, Chelsea through, Everton out. We will be back next weekend for the WSL action. And Jack will finally be back after I've covered all the domestic cup action. There will be 2 of us next weekend, I believe. I think. I can't think what the games are now, but it is WSL action. I definitely know that we are back to league football. But yeah, what a week of domestic cup action. We had the League Cup semi-finals on Wednesday, Thursday, and we've had a brilliant weekend of FA Cup action, and we are back to league football next weekend. And then we've got the League Cup final in March. We've got Champions League quarterfinals. So much coming your way. So if you are tuning in and haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do so, because we've got a lot of content coming out as we get into what is going to be a blockbuster end to the season. But yeah, thank you all so much for turning up. It's been a really, really good game, a good afternoon, and a brilliant day overall. But yeah, that is everything. We are back next week. Videos coming out all throughout the week. I'm trying to think what the Monday video is. It is, I don't know, but there'll be a video Monday. So do subscribe, because there'll be something tomorrow that I'm sure you will love. But yeah, lots of content coming. Make sure to subscribe. But yeah, that is everything for today. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I will see you next time.